もともと実はちょっとカールとかウェーブついてたんだけど、もう頑張ってこうアイロンでストレートにしたり、もうこの前髪もうみんなこれだから自分もこれ本当に一緒になりたくて仕方なくて。
Hard things growing up besides like I mean you always stood out, right?
Yeah.
Did people try to make fun of you or anything like that?
Well, yeah, bullying and microaggressions, but for the most part it was just me trying to adjust and kind of trial and error, like, oh, I tried this, didn't work, I tried this, didn't work.
こんにちは、皆さん、キヨです。So in today's video, I'm going to be looking at a British girl who was born and raised in Japan, and here she's going to share her experiences. I'm excited to watch this video, but before that, guys, we are close to 200,000 subscribers, so if you haven't already, like the video and subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, 行きましょう。
Jasmine has a pretty interesting story. Jasmine is born to two English parents in Japan.
そう石川県で生まれ育って、そこからずっと日本の公立保育所、小学校、中学校、高校、大学院まで来て、今日本の会社で会社員までしてる。
そう、もうほとんど日本人と変わらない。
これ以外日本人。
そう。だからちょっと面白い話だと思うから今日撮影させていただきます。
よろしくお願いします。
あ、そっか。
かっこいい。
で始まる前に、日本人が典型的な質問をまずスタートからしましょうと知りたがってると思うから、質問しよう。まず、納豆が好きですか？
はい、大好きです。
お、すごい。なんで俺がすごいと思って。俺もハーフだけど。
ちなみに好き？
一応好き。箸は使えますか？
使えます。
家庭では、パンですか？米ですか？
いろいろ食べます。
Okay.
You and this is 中学校。
Yeah, that's me and my swim team.
Oh, that's your swim team.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're standing on the first floor. And everyone is so この足をちゃんと見たらなんか、いや、こっちに立ってるよねって。
これは中3だから15歳かな？15歳。もうすでに成長期が来て、
これも15歳。
みんなこうなのに一人だけ。そう。
でも髪の毛も結構日本人っぽくしてると、顔もね、いやでもなんか髪の色と以外はちょっとでも日本人っぽいと俺は。
Mannerisms, looks, hairstyle, all of that.
そうだね。もうみんなと一緒になりたかったからとにかく。だからもともと実はちょっとカールとかウェーブついてたんだけど、もう頑張ってこうアイロンでストレートにしたり、もうこの前髪もうみんなこれだから自分もこれ本当に一緒になりたくて仕方なくて。
Did you ever want to dye your hair black?
I did, but everybody knew that I was blonde, and it was against the school rules to dye your hair. So, you know.
Which is funny because they make Japanese people who have like naturally brown hair dye their hair black.
Yeah,
really?
It's ironic, really.
Was there any like hard things growing up besides like? I mean, you always stood out. Right?
Yeah.
Did people try to make fun of you or anything like that?
Well, yeah. Thankfully, I never got the like "kuni ni kaere" とか like "you don't belong here." I never got really like pointed out that way, but it was quite a lot of passive aggressiveness, microaggressions everywhere, especially like elementary school and junior high school. I didn't really know how to navigate being different, but also wanting to be the same as everyone. I wanted to be part of the group so badly that I would change myself, but I would kind of change it too far that I couldn't keep it up for very long. Or on the other side, I thought like if I can have everybody do this with me, it would be super cool, so I would be overly outgoing, and it was a lot of adjusting between like being very Western, for want of a better word, and very Japanese, and just kind of like bouncing between those, and it was really difficult to like navigate between that. There was bullying and microaggressions, but for the most part it was just me trying to adjust and kind of trial and error, like, oh, I tried this, didn't work, I tried this, didn't work. So that is when in high school I was still continuing to study really hard, and I had this competition with this fellow academic guy, and he was always number one. It was very frustrating. But in Japanese, I managed to beat him one time, I think.
You mean 国語 class?
Yeah. I think it was like a standardized test for like moshi.
Standardized test, you beat the top Japanese guy.
Yeah, I mean, he was top in everything. So I thought Japanese and English were my only chance to beat him.
So it's like you were at the top of your class.
Yeah.
For 国語.
Yeah.
So.
And I was very prideful that I was keeping it up. But at this point, I beat him, and I was like, yay! Like, I'm so happy. And he was like so like, and I'm like, but like, if that was the end of it, that would have been great.
Yeah.
But
and it's like beating someone at like a sport.
yeah, exactly. And healthy competition.
It's competition.
Yeah. And so I was happy, and just minding my own business. But we got a school assembly or class assembly, and in our homeroom, while I was present, the teacher gave everybody a scolding because I was the best at Japanese.
What is 日本語でなん？
Wow.
あんまりよく覚えてないんだけど、なんかこうなんでロスが1位なのみたいな。で、ロスは家で日本語喋らないし、なんかみんなに比べて不利なのに、
マジで
なんでそんなロスがみんなよりも国語できてるのみたいな感じで。
クラスだけ30。
Oh man, wow.
クラスだったけど。
で、ジャズミンもいて。
で、自分もそこに座ってて、普通に過ごしてて、何を今叱られてるんだろうと思ったら、なんでロスが1位なのっていう話で叱られてて、ってなってもしじゃあ自分2位とか自分が国語ダメだったらよかったのかなみたいな。本当に
でもそれは日本の教育がいいからジャズミンがそこまで行ったんじゃない。まあもちろん勉強もすごいして。
そうだよね。だって日本変な話そのテレビとかの日本語もなく、まあ、確かに読書は少ししたかもしれないけど。そんなに人並み、特に読書すごいしたわけでもなく、単純にその国語の授業を真剣に受けて宿題をしっかりしてで、テスト勉強をしたらそういう点数が出たわけだから、逆に言うと日本の国語の授業がしっかりされてるっていう証拠なんだけど、でもやっぱりそのみんな国語だからっていうので怠けてたのか何なのか知らないけど、でも普通にみんな勉強したらできるものをなんかこうね外見が違うからなんでロスが1位なん。
逆に言うとアメリカとかでこうアジア人 so if there's like a Chinese American in English class as a comparison Chinese American kid is in English class gets 100% best scores in English class and then the teacher's like why is Chris Wang getting the best score in English class? All you guys, they speak Chinese at home. Like it'd be like all over the news as like this might be a little bit racist.
I know, but at the time I had no concept of racism because I was the only person who was different, and I didn't know anything about other countries that had like multiracial schools. So at the time I didn't even know if it was like a backhanded compliment or
backhanded compliment.
Oh man. Register.
It's like a compliment and microaggression at the same time.
Yeah, but it was from my teacher. If it was from other kids who were like, we shouldn't be like beaten by Jasmine, I'd be like, haha, ganbare. But it was a teacher, my educator, who was telling everyone else that they should be better than me, and I was just like, how do I react to this? I wanted to say that what makes you different is what makes you special. 日本語で言うと他の人と違うっていうところがむしろその特別なことで、そこが強みだから。それを嫌がってしまうのは仕方ないけど、それをもっと大事にそこを好きになれればすごいこう生活が楽になるっていうかね、そこの違いっていうところを好きになれるようになってほしいなって思うのと You're not alone. Like there are people out there, so reach out. Even with people who have negative experiences in Japan, I think if they just kind of keep an open mind and remember that a lot of Japanese folk, especially in the inaka, they don't really have that much exposure to like foreigners.
In the country.
And sure, they might see it on like films or the internet, but to see like a real live foreigner, they hardly ever have like a negative intention. They're not malicious.
Right.
Of course, the more they know, the more like we can interact in a better way. For the most part, people who have negative experiences are just like, oh, why don't they understand? But I do understand. I do. But it's just the way it is, and they never ever mean anything bad by it.
Solid interview, man. I think this is really solid, and I like her perspective at the end. I think most foreigners or people who look different are gonna have a hard time in a country that's predominantly homogenous, simply because places like England and America are known for being multiracial, multi-international. You see all kind of people. If you live in a homogenous society, it's going to be more obvious that you stand out. And naturally, with classic human behavior, you want to blend in with your group as much as possible. You don't want to stand out because you want to be accepted, because humans are tribal, we're social creatures. We want to be accepted by the group. And even though she may look differently, you can see throughout the pictures, she picked up a lot of the Japanese mannerisms. She speaks Japanese. She had the Japanese style of hair. So you can see culturally she was Japanese even though she was a foreigner. And I'm pretty sure people connected her with her because they associated with her being part of their own culture more so than being white or just being a foreigner. I think people usually connect because they have common interests, common belief systems, and common cultural values. And like she said, most Japanese have no experience of foreigners, so it's not really hostile, behavior because they have none. It's not like they had any preconceived interactions with foreigners before, and this is how they feel. Like literally, most Japanese really don't have any ill intention. And the one thing I will say about her with being first when it comes to the subject in Japanese, I know what the teacher said can come off a bit weird, because if I was a teacher, I'll kind of congratulate her. Hey, good job for being first place, even though we know this is not your first language. Like, I think the teacher should have said, hey, good job. I'm glad you studied, glad you did your thing. But I understand he was trying to make an example. How can someone who comes from a different culture, who's not Japanese, ace better on their Japanese test than Japanese people? I think he was just basically saying like the Japanese students have to do better because you let a foreigner or someone who doesn't speak Japanese as their first language get ahead of you. And I don't think he or she had any ill intention in saying that. I think he was just trying to make a point. But at the same time, I think if he or she was going to say that, I would also congratulate her by saying, good job, I'm proud of you. Japanese is not an easy language to learn. You studied hard, good job. But I don't think the teacher's intentions were bad. Overall, solid video. I love her spirit. I love her personality. And I think she would generally get along with anybody. And I think that's just the attitude you have to have in those kind of situations. Like, stay positive. Try to find the best in people. Try to make the best out of any situation. And just look forward to a good future, if that makes any sense. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. So if you guys like the video, please smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Also hit that bell as well to get notified whenever we post a video. Honto, arigatou gozaimasu. Minna, 気をつけて。じゃあね。